a new season, and we are underway.
Really dominating fashion here today is going to win.
2, 3, 4 for the final time.
Win number 1 on the season, only just barely.
He is going to win here at the Nazareth Speedway.
Wins the Emerson Electric 100K.
Gonna be Igor Barretto's gonna eke it out.
Cup Series champion is Shane Lake in the number 15.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Just 4 races remaining, the Mission Barbecue Cup Series makes its way down to the state of Texas to one of the fastest tracks we go to, and the intensity of the chase is being ratcheted up once again, one more notch this week. Good afternoon, lads. Welcome to the Texas World Speedway for the NOFSRL Mission Barbecue Cup Series' lone race in the Lone Star State. We are just minutes away from firing the engines for the 2021 edition of the Out of the Groove 500 here at the Texas World Speedway. My name is Trey Ray as we welcome you from a cloud-covered College Station, Texas, with live coverage being broadcasted once again on NASCAR R34. After a Denver doubleheader last week in the Mile High City, we come to this 2-mile D-shaped oval for a 50-lap affair in Aggieland. We are right near the Texas A&M campus here in College Station. This is going to be quite an interesting race. It sounds like a super speedway with its high 22 degrees of banking and its incredible speeds entering the corners. The pack racing will not be today. The pack racing will be next week when the MBCS ventures to the Great White North of Canada to the Ricky Raceway in Rimouski, Quebec. But the focus right now is down here at Texas World. It is going to be a great race here today, this afternoon. Like we said, 50 laps are on the docket. The chase for the championship, the 2021 championship, I should say, is shaping up to be a good one. We'll dive right into that right now. If you saw last week's Sunday race on the Denver Oval, you will know that poop is going down in the chase. Braden Perez, with his last place finish, finds Aiden McCrow and Mitchell Collins hot on his tail coming out of the Casa Bonita Denver double. As you'll see on the right-hand side of your screen, Braden Perez's points lead has shrunk severely down to 46 points over Aiden McCrow. And those two are not going to be playing nice with one another. If you saw the Denver Roval race on Saturday before the Denver Oval, you'll know that Aiden McCrow was flat out dumped by Braden Perez in the middle of the race right after pit stops, and that allowed Ryan Durrani to get by. And with Ryan Durrani and everybody else were on the same 2-star tire strategy, so I think Brandon Wilmington would have won the Otterbox 300K regardless, but that really shook things up, and both drivers have not had words with one another yet, but it's going to be interesting. And they didn't see one another on the track the next day as Perez was involved in that lap 1 pileup, leading to the 92 to finish last on Sunday in the South Park 400, presented by Denver Mattress. He only scored 1 point for finishing last, and he failed to even complete a lap. And given where Aiden McCrow finished about 15th, Mitchell Collins finished 2nd or 3rd. But regardless, that's a lot more. Those positions award a lot more than 1 point. And Mitchell Collins, who, like we said, finished either second or 3rd on the oval, doesn't matter. I believe he finished 2nd. Yes, he finished 2nd to Josh Williamson, who we are in his home race here. Williamson is from nearby, forget exactly which town in Texas that Josh Williamson is from. This is a home race for a lot of guys. Josh Williamson, John Andrews. We'll pull up the driver sheet right here. There's quite a few. Nelson Reeves, actually, who is in the chase, so he is from Midland, Texas. So yeah, we go down the list. Nelson Reeves is from Texas. You've got John Andrews is from Waco, Texas. And you go down, Josh Williamson, he is from nearby Austin, where Eric Estep, the sponsor, the man whose show is sponsoring our race today, he is also from Austin as well. Quite a few drivers from Texas, and we'll throw in the guys. I don't see anybody from Louisiana, but yeah, we'll throw in. Not sure where everybody is from, but we do know that there are quite a few guys from Texas. And then the next week we have a couple of Canadians in the field. Daniel Bouchard and Keegan Thompson, both two guys from the Great White North, will be competing in for the win next week's Labatt Blue 500. But that is then, and this is now. Got to go back to the script here. But yeah, we've got quite a few guys that are able to do well here. And we'll throw Mitchell Collins. Mitchell Collins is from Iowa, so I think this is the closest track to Iowa. So Mitchell Collins also looking for a quote-unquote home track win. But like we said, Mitchell Collins, he is 51 points behind Braden Perez coming into the Out of the Groove 500. And he starts third on the grid this afternoon, right behind Daniel Bouchard, coincidentally, and your pole sitter of Will Parrish. We'll see if Parrish can do well, because, oh boy, he has not been doing well this season. No, he has not. But you think back to last year's race, which was a pretty chaotic first 25 laps or so. It was a team killer for the Team Velocity guys. Matt Tuck is hoping that we are not doing that once again, which you saw Zachary Fitzwater end up at body armor victory lane last year. Mitchell Collins wrecked out on the first lap, if I'm not mistaken. He was involved in some sort of accident on lap 1. So we'll see how he approaches this race this year. And then the points deficit increases dramatically between Collins and Nelson Reeves from nearby Midland, Texas. Reeves is 151 points behind Braden Perez, and then it goes down to Tristan Allen, who is a grand total of 181 points behind Braden Perez. Madison Tall, Brendan Yodel. Brendan Yodel is the last car in the chase right now that can mathematically overtake the 92 in points, but he is 216 back, and the only way you can get more than 216 points is lead a lap, lead the most laps, win the race, have the fastest lap in the race, and I believe that is all the criteria to get 220 points. But so it's going to be a tough row to hoe for the 26 of Brendan Yodel. He starts 22nd on the grid, so I don't personally see it happening this afternoon. And then you go down to Logan Alexander, who is not mathematically able to overtake Braden Perez, who is 276 points behind. Not good, but not terrible. Then you go down to Trey Smith with 411. That's a dramatic jump down. Then Daniel Georgi with 416, Tyler Reynolds with 431, and then all the way down to the Waco, Texas native of John Andrews with 525 points behind. He's still mathematically able to win the championship somehow, even though he is about 3 races, give or take, at the best 3 races points behind the 92 of Braden Perez. So he is still mathematically able to win the championship, and he starts 5th on the grid this afternoon. So we're gonna have to see how that all plays out, and that rounds out your chase field. It is still mathematically anyone's game, but my prediction personally is Mitchell Collins will be leading the chase going into Ricky next week. He does have to pass. He has to be 10 positions in front of Braden Perez, and Perez starts 9th on the grid this afternoon. So it's going to be interesting how this thing shapes up, but we must run the races to find out. But I believe that 78 car is going to be leading the chase field when we go to Rimouski, Quebec next week. And that should just cover just about everything. We'll go over the Rookie of the Year and the owner's points the closer we get to it. But, I mean, Rookie of the Year is basically going to come down to either McCrow and Perez anyway. Actually, we'll throw Nelson Reeves in there, because Reeves is only 151 points behind Braden Perez, and only 150 behind Aiden McCrow. But, I mean, well, I think it's going to come down between Perez, McCrow, and potentially Reeves. But we got to run the race to find out, like I've said. And that should cover just about everything. So you know what time it is, boys. It's Lone Star State time. Let's get this Lone Star party started, boys. What do you say we head down trackside to get the starting command for the 2021 edition of the Out of the Groove 500 and get chase race number 34, chase race number 7, and race number 34 of 37 going here at the Texas World Speedway.
Drivers, start your engines!
Like we mentioned in the pre-rush show, the O2 of Will Parrish starts on the pole position for the Out of the Groove 500. An additional 5 bonus points are awarded to that team in his points standings. Starting to his outside is the 07 of Daniel Bouchard. Rest of the starting lineup will be on the left-hand side of your screen. Row 2, the highest qualifying chase driver on the grid, Mitchell Collins, starts alongside the 05 of Owen Miles, excuse me. The 46 of Josh Andrews starts alongside his McLaren Motorsports team. Nelson Reed, row 4, the 16 of Noah Clifton, the Aussie 16. Noah Clifton starts alongside another Australian in the field for Ringfield Smartberg winner of Riley Sampson. And row number 5, your current points leader going into Texas World Brady Perez. Starts alongside 28 of Caitlin Garlington. This is starting lineup. All 40 cars are rolled off the starting grid, and they have it is going to be a 50-lap race around this 2-mile weekend over the Long Station, Texas. Between 46 laps, it's going to be right on the halfway point of this race. If we go into overtime, green-white checker, excuse me, that is going to make things interesting. The runs you can get on the back straightaway are extremely important and extremely fast. These are going to be extreme runs here we see here at the Texas World Speedway. And like we mentioned in the pre-race show, your previous winner here at the Texas World Speedway of last year's Out of the Groove 500 is Zachary Fitzwater, who starts 30th on the grid this afternoon. Pace car makes a hard left-hand turn down the pit lane. We're about to get this Texas-sized party started. Parrish and Bouchard lead them through the recess restart zone. Green flag is in the air. Let's roll in the Lone Star State. John Andrews is taking absolutely no prisoners early on in the running. He has started 5th. He has already made his way up to 1st, side by side with a 16 of Clifton. As Mitchell Collins looked to make it 3 wide for the top position, but falls back and is going to fall back into the clutches of Braden Perez. As for the race lead, Clifton to the inside of the Midland, Texas native of John Andrews. The Waco, Texas native of John Andrews. The 7 of Nelson Reeves, who currently runs in about the 10th position, is from Midland, Texas. And there is your Austin, Texas native of Josh Williamson, right in the middle of your pole sitter, Will Parrish, who did not get a good jump. And the 48 of Juan Rodriguez, as we are on lap number 3 of 50. You see at the line, John Andrews at the line, 201 miles per hour on a non-restrictor plate track. That is absolutely insane, and he is still out front. Here comes Keegan Thompson in the 14 car, who started 11th on the grid, has found his way up inside the top 5, and Andrews begins to pull away in the number 46 City Chevrolet. He won't gain much given where the 92 and the 78 are running right now. But I think at this stage in the game, he just wants to get a win. He is one of the few rookies in the field that does not have a win this season. And by few, I mean about half of the rookie field. Andrews, Parrish, Bouchard, Clifton, and the 81 of Jordan Lopez are all winless coming into Texas World. So I think, actually, now that I think of it, that is a majority of the rookie class. And the yellow flag is out, and it was Zachary Fitzwater, Ethan Lewis, Ryan Durrani going around on the back straightaway. And the yellow flag is out for the first time this afternoon. Andrews leads the race back to the line. It looks like a simple accident off of turn number 2. Lewis, another one of the rookies that is winless coming into Texas World. So yeah, pretty. I'd say the majority of the majority group of winless winless rookies, I should say, are the majority group. And Lewis does not appear he will go to body armor victory lane this afternoon. Fitzwater led every single lap last year. He's behind the 8 ball already. And we're going to see if these guys elect to come down the pit lane. And I believe that they are. And yes, they are. So we are still going to have green flag pit stops, but that will, or another round of pit stops, I should say. Not necessarily green flag. Andrews will lead the field down the pit lane, but that will remove the potential of... I'm trying to remember. But the potential of these guys potentially running out of fuel at the end of the race. That was an incredible start that Andrews had as Stapleton gets into the 25 of Nathan Smith, and it's just going to be gas and go for a few of these guys. Colton Yo is going to win the race off the pit lane. It's a splash and go for the Rich Energy Zero Intrepid. Thompson will come out second. Andrews will fall back to third. And everybody elects to come down the race pit lane, I should say. And it's just going to be fuel only for every single driver in the field. So they're making sure they can get past the halfway point before they have to come down the pit lane. And I'd say that's smart for a lot of these guys. We're only 6 laps into the fuel run, or the pit run, I should say. Don't replace tires right now. It's not worth burning up a set. Just to make sure you can get to the halfway point if this thing goes caution-free. Which, if you saw last year's race, odds are it is not. But Colton Yo currently paces the field as we work on caution number 1 here at the Texas World Speedway. Let's see what happened to bring out said caution number 1 here at the Texas World Speedway as Colton Yo paces them around this 2-mile D-shaped oval. Let's see what happened to bring out the yellow flag for the first time in the 2021 edition of the Out of the Groove 500. See Ethan Lewis in this 79 Hers Otter Island Motorsports Camry come up into Logan Williams, overcorrects the machine, and turns right in front of Zachary Fitzwater. Ryan Durrani, who has been on a hot streak the last couple of races, who is also in a battle for the Rookie of the Year title, gets caught up in this as well. Completely forgot to mention his name. Tristan Allen, your regular season champion, got a piece of that as well, and that was right in front of both Allen and Aiden McCrow. They are able to drive past with ease. But simple accident here on the back straightaway. Typically, we see a lot bigger accidents. Case in point, the big one on the front straightaway that took out the entire Team Velocitar camp last season. Unfortunately, Matt Tuck got to see that live, or had to see that live, rather. But it doesn't appear that any driver has mortal damage to their racing machines, so we'll get this mess cleaned up. We'll get you a real-time replay, and then we'll get you back to the action here at the Texas World Speedway as we wrap up caution number 1 of the afternoon. So there were 4 wide going through the corner. I just noticed that. So that explains why Lewis ran out of real estate, and unfortunately that was right in front of your last winner here at the Texas World Speedway, Zachary Fitzwater. But all 3 of them get the cars turned around in the right direction, got them refired, and kept on trucking. So I don't believe they'll be in contention to win the race, but they will be in contention to at least make the 50-lap distance. As we'll get this mess cleaned up, we'll get you back to your restart here as we work on caution number 1 here at the Out of the Groove 500. We return to the Texas World Speedway here as we wrap up caution number 1 of the 2021 edition of the Out of the Groove 500 Chase Race number 7 of 10 in 2021 for the NOFSRL Mission Barbecue Cup Series. Nobody was knocked out from that accident as the pace car pulls down the pit lane. We still have all 40 cars remaining on the racetrack. Colton Yo with a splash and go pit stop will lead the field back through the race's restart zone. Your top 5 going back through the gears are Yo, Thompson, Andrews, Clifton, and Garlington. It's a good jump for Yo and Thompson. Stealth Motorsports cars will quickly swarm the 46 of Andrews. Here comes Dustin Davis in the RB Motorsports 40, making a 3-wide textbook pass underneath there to get up inside the podium, side by side with Andrews, able to clear Andrews. And John was stuck up on that outside lane. He is going to quickly fall back. Williamson had to check up there with the run he was getting. He was going to run right back into the 28 of Cameron Garlington. And for the race lead, Keegan Thompson looking to extend his Mission Barbecue Cup Series record holding, or his most wins record of 5. Looking to get win number 6 here this afternoon, but Colton Yo with only 1 win to his name in last year's Dover race, looking to have a decent end to his season. He has been fairly hot or warm the last few weeks. I don't believe he was knocked out in last week's race at Denver. He's not doing too bad here at Texas World, leading some laps here in the early stages of the Out of the Groove 500. As a top 4 I should say, will file out, and Braden Perez and Mitchell Collins both falling back. Actually, Mitchell Collins, I do not even see Mitchell Collins. There's Mitchell Collins in the number 78 Logitech Taurus. All the way on the high side. He is in about, I'd gauge, the 11th or 12th position. Braden Perez is quickly losing real estate in the Toadzam and Earl Camry. At the line, the 92 machine is back in 20th, so at this rate, the 78 of Collins will be your new cruise leader if the standings were to end, or the race were to end right here and right now. We are about a quarter of the way through the Out of the Groove 500 here. If you are just tuning in, only 1 caution has been called on the speedway so far for a 3-car accident on the back straightaway. Nobody has been knocked out, at least to my knowledge. Nobody is out, and battle for the race lead heats up. Thompson to the inside of Yo. These are 2 veterans from last season that fought together in the chase. Neither of them made the grid this year, so they are just fighting for the scraps of points to be the best of the rest, who is currently being led by Ryan Durrani at this point. Thompson will get around Yo. Here comes Dustin Davis, who has been on a hot streak as of late. A really hot streak ever since Willow Springs, his runner-up finish at Willow Springs, but is now going to get caught up in the sucker hole as Collins makes his way up inside the top 5. Williamson going for 2 in a row. First time, looking to be the first driver to go for 2 in a row in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series. Right now in the podium as a yellow flag is out, and Ethan Lewis looks like he's going to get knocked out. Same with Will Parrish and Owen Miles. And the cycle, the horrible rookie season continues for the 0-2 of Will Parrish. Thought he was going to be able to get some stuff done today, and does not look like that is going to be the case. Your Indianapolis winner of Owen Miles also with a lot of damage. And now we'll see if the strategy begins to commence, and commence it will. Colton Yo, Dustin Davis, Landon Smith Jr. will be the first 3 cars down the pit lane. They can make it to the end, but I think they are banking on a caution during the pit stops to potentially come out. We'll focus along with Colton Yo in the 0 machine. See what he does on the pit lane. Imagine it is going to be a 4-tire pit stop, I would imagine, for the Rich Energy 0 Yo Racing machine. Indeed, it's going to be 4 fresh Hoosier tires going all the way around on that Intrepid, filling that gas tank full of octane racing fuel, and he is going to be out and away. I'll see if anybody decides to pull any strategy. Davis is out in the RB's number 40. It'll be the same 1, 2, 3 out of the pit lane. The 07 team taking extra time on the left side of that Subway Pontiac. I'd gauge about only a third of the field came down the pit lane. So we'll have to see how this affects everybody. But Keegan Thompson elected to stay out on the racetrack. He will be your leader coming back through the race's restart zone. Let's take a look and see what happened and bring out the second caution of the afternoon here at the Texas World Speedway in the Out of the Groove 500. This was the battle for 13th between Owen Miles and the 15 of Ryan Benjamin, and Miles is just going to put a horrible block on Benjamin right there in the Aaron's Dream Machine. And Benjamin does not like that and is going to fully turn around the Reese's 05 of Owen Miles. And he is going to back that Chevrolet Monte Carlo right into the outside wall. Thankfully, there's a safer barrier there. That was right in front of your points leader, Braden Perez. And I think Will Parrish, not sure where Parrish is. There's Will Parrish in the 0-2. Oh, just gets socked right in the mouth, right in front of Jordan Lopez. And I think Ethan Lewis is going to run right into the side of, right into the front, in fact, of Parrish. And we'll take that 79 machine out. And if Will Parrish didn't have bad luck, he would not have any luck at all. If I'm not mistaken, this has got to be like the 7th or 8th race in a row that the 0-2 has been minding his own business and has been taken out in somebody else's mess. In fact, he hasn't been doing as bad as Noah Clifton, as Noah Clifton's top 20 finish last week at the Denver Oval was his first top 20 finish since the first Hillside race back in July. So it has been a horrible last month for the 16 of Noah Clifton. If you look at Will Parrish's points at the moment, it has been 60 points, 65. He did get a decent run at Willow Springs, but just not been a good season for Will Parrish at all. He is right there at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to points. And this is about case number 36, or not even 36 races into the season. This is example number probably 25 of the season of wrong place at the wrong time for the BWT Intrepid of Parrish. We'll replay this action in real time, then get you back to the action here at the Texas World Speedway by Owen Miles. In the words of Brad Keselowski, I'm sick and tired of these guys making bad blocks. Following in real time with Owen Miles, and was not clear. Hard into the outside wall. Comes down the racetrack right in front of Will Parrish. And Ethan Lewis gets tagged in it as well. Another hard hit into the outside wall for Parrish. And in fact, that was right in front of Jordan Lopez. You'll probably see on the bottom right or left-hand side of your screen a replay on board with the 81 of Lopez, because that was a code brown situation. But Will Parrish not going to be happy with Owen Miles, and Miles is not going to be happy with himself once he sees the replay. That was just simply a horrible blackout of the 05 machine. But Keegan Thompson led them back to the line, but we did not see any drama on the pit lane, as strategy boys have come out to play early on in this race. As Colton Yo led about a third of the field down the pit lane. We'll see how that affects them on the restart, but Keegan Thompson will lead them back through the gears here as we get clean up caution number 2 of the 2021 edition of the Out of the Groove 500. We are back here at the Texas World Speedway, wrapping up the third second. We're back here at the Texas World Speedway, wrapping up the second caution of the afternoon. Take a look and see who was knocked out from that accident. Ethan Lewis and Owen Miles and the 0-2 of Will Parrish, all knocked out from that lap 16 accident, if I'm not mistaken. Lap 14, actually. And we saw some strategy on the pit lane as the top 24 drivers stayed out. So that is going to be very, very interesting as the field makes its way back through the race's restart zone. Your top 5 going back through the gears are Keegan Thompson, your last race winner last week at the Denver Oval, Josh Williamson, Mitchell Collins, the highest running chaser in the field right now, Noah Clifton, and the 46 of John Andrews. Green flag back out in the air, and already Collins diving down to the inside of 98 of Josh Williamson. Hopefully we can run the rest of the way green, because I'm curious to see how the strategy is going to work with those guys that came down the pit lane. But right now, for the race lead, a good push coming from the 16 of Clifton. Collins is out in front here at Texas World. Clifton will fall all the way back to 4th. And here comes Braden Perez going 3 wide underneath the 15 and the 7 of Benjamin and Reeves, respectively. McCrow will follow suit. No, he does not. He stays side by side with the toe jammer Earl, number 92 Camry. But right now, Perez was 8th last time by. Collins needs to be 10 at least. 10 positions in front of the 92 of Perez right now. But we can't count out the possibility of a yellow coming out and Perez getting caught up in something. We saw it last week at the Denver Oval. We even saw it last week on the Roval. As for the not the top driver in Texas, actually. This is a couple of drivers in the chase right here. Tyler Reynolds has been making his way up through the field. He started, I believe, Reynolds started 19th on the grid and finds himself in the about 7th position as Williamson falls back to about 2nd, or 3rd, excuse me. Now in the clutches of Clifton for 4th as a huge lead developing for the 78 of Collins. I don't know what happened to Williamson, but he had to check up there, and absolutely gigantic lead for the 78 of Collins, and that's going to bunch these guys up quite a bit. We'll see what these chases are willing to do to get up in the positions, I should say. Reynolds, given where the 92 of Perez is running, is probably mathematically going to be eliminated in this for the championship in this race, but that kid is not going to stop him from trying to get his 2nd win of the season. He's going to dive down to the inside of Keegan Thompson. That will be for 2nd. As Collins is trying to run away with this race, praying that a caution does not come out, but they are really condensing in the back of this field. And we could see a yellow come out at any time. As Tristan Allen is holding up about 7 or 8 cars in the back here, and we're going to go 4 wide there for a split second, but we'll see what the interval is this time by Collins first, his Buck Racing teammate of Tyler Reynolds 2nd, and a 2.5-second lead for the 78 of Mitchell Collins to close in on the halfway point through the out of the group 500. How about Dano Georgi looking for win number 3, has found his way up to 3rd, and it is pretty much every single chase driver is up in here. Madison Toll making her first appearance of the afternoon. McCrow right on the back end of the 98 of Williamson, right on the back bumper of the Powerade Monte Carlo. You see pretty much every single chase driver up in here. 4 wide as Riley Sampson and Rose down to the inside of this 42 and the 98, and this is going to be tight as Keegan Thompson and Braden Perez in the outside wall. Perez around, yellow flag is out. Is anybody else involved? No, they are not, but for the 3rd race in a row, Braden Perez caught up in something. And we'll see, is everybody able to make it back to the line? That is the last thing. Actually, it's bittersweet for Mitchell Collins as you will lead the field back to the line, and was tattooing the field right at the halfway point, had a 2-second lead over his Buck Racing teammate. But a ton of right side damage to the Toe Jam and Earl 92 machine of Braden Perez, and he is quickly sinking faster than the Lusitania in the points. I have no idea what happened there. They were 4 wide off the corner. I think I saw Keegan Thompson the wall first, but I don't know, Perez is trying to bite off more than he could chew. We'll see what goes down on the replay. And this is the money stop. These guys can mathematically on fuel make it to the end. Collins will lead his Buck Racing teammate down the pit lane. I know Chase Buck is excited. 2 of his cars made the chase. He was one of 2 teams to have multiple cars in the 2021 Chase field. They are currently pacing the field at the moment, or were pacing the field, I should say, as Dano Georgi has elected to stay out. I believe he came down the pit lane after a caution number 2. Collins, who started 3rd on the grid this afternoon, will make his way down the pit lane. He's going to put 4 fresh Hoosier tires on that Logitech Taurus. He will come out first. His Buck Racing teammate Tyler Reynolds will come out 2nd. Ryan Benjamin will come out 3rd, and Caleb Rose will come out 4th on the grid. And that is surprising to see. As pretty much the entire field comes down with the exception of 4 drivers: Dano Georgi, Madison Toll, Nathan Stapleton, and Braden Perez. I am shocked that Perez is not coming down the pit lane, because he turned around completely, was right on the outside wall. You could see the damage on the passenger side door. Actually, is Georgia? Georgia is not lapped down, is he? No, he's... Is Georgia... I don't know what... Are these guys going to come down the pit lane this time by? They're on the apron. I do not believe... Oh, they are. I guess Georgia... I guess everybody decided that they will not come down the pit... they cannot mathematically make it to the end. That was weird. That was probably... That would be something I would do personally in an online race. But the rest of the field is going to come down, and they are not on the tail end of the lead lap. They're not a lap down at all. So I am very surprised by that, but that is going to give the lead back to the Buck Racing teammates of Mitchell Collins and Tyler Reynolds. And we are going to take a look and see what happened and bring out caution number 3, probably the most crucial caution of the afternoon. That involved your points leader pretty significantly. Let's take a look and see what happened and bring out the 3rd yellow flag of the afternoon here in what has been a wild Texas World race here at the Out of the Group 500. So Braden Perez once again putting the chrome horn to the back of someone and ends up taking himself out, just flat out boots Keegan Thompson out of the way, but got out of shape himself and gets turned around and loses all of his real estate. And I completely get that Braden Perez is a rookie, but he has been tattooing the entire field the first couple of races in the chase. And I don't know if it's the points leader's curse that's come out once again, or if this is karma for the whole thing that happened on the Denver Roval with Aiden McCrow. I think it's a mixture of both. But those are some deep forces. Those are some... I don't know what the word for it is, but those are some astronomical forces. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember what the actual term is, but those are some that is a very interesting maneuver by Braden Perez. So Keegan Thompson would like to have a word with Braden Perez after this race. But Perez just taking himself out pretty much once again. It just a very, very dumb decision out of the 92 machine. And, I mean, 3 races in a row, he did not get a poor finish by any means whatsoever at the Denver Roval. But that was dripped in he went around, at least. He was caught up in something. And then you have last week's last place finish on the oval. There was nothing he could do there. And this is Braden Perez just being way too aggressive, not even halfway into the race. We'll look at it again in real time, and then we'll get you back to the action here at the Texas World Speedway. But Braden Perez driving like a rookie out there, even though he is literally the rookie. Driving like one there here at the Texas World Speedway. Pretty much just puts Keegan Thompson into the wall, gets out of shape, and that's pretty much clear cut there. Bump and run gone wrong. And thankfully that was not on the last lap, and thankfully that was all the way on the outside lane, or else we would have had a massive pile up. But that is going to shake things up quite a bit. The green flag pit stop variable is out the window, so this is going to be a race to the end. Mitchell Collins will lead the field going back through the gears. And we'll see if he is able to tattoo the field like he did on that short run. But we're just going to have to see what he can do on the restart. It was a clean up accident number 3 here at the Texas World Speedway. We are back here at the Texas World Speedway wrapping up a controversial 3rd caution of the afternoon. Nobody was knocked out from that accident. We still have all 37 cars remaining on the racetrack, and all of them are on the lead lap. Your top 5 going back through the Reese's restart zone are Mitchell Collins, his Buck Racing teammate of Tyler Reynolds, Ryan Benjamin 15, Caleb Rose in the 32, and the 16 of Noah Clifton. Back to the gears I go. Green flag is waving in the Lone Star Air. We just have 22 laps remaining in the Out of the Groove 500. And here is the first battle for position. Clifton underneath the 32 of Rose, and we have got to give Caleb Rose a lot of credit for the runs that he has been having lately. He recently got his second win of the season at Willow Springs via tire strategy, and he flat up dominated the back half of that race at Willow Springs, and he is up here in the thick of it once again, currently in 5th, but they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars in a row. Gotta go back to 7th for the first side-by-side battle for the lead as Garlington sends it through the corner, trying to go on the outside lane around the 24 Riley Sampson. As Ryan Benjamin looking for career win number 2, his first win, the first ever race in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series 1 year ago. Last year at the Daytona 500 at the Daytona International Speedway. He's up to 2nd. Could today be the day he finally knocks a horse off of his back with 20 to go? It is looking like Ryan Benjamin might be one of the cars to beat. Collins is not going to block Benjamin, but he sends it going in through 1 and 2. Benjamin lets off the gas. How about Noah Clifton? Clifton being up here with a rare, once-in-a-blue chance to win a race. Riley Sampson, who was on his lid last week and looked like he was going to try and finish the race, was caught up in the second accident last week on the Denver Oval. He's up here, up inside the top 10, trying to make some noise. Logan Alexander, who is 276 points behind Braden Perez, trying to cut into that lead once again, but Perez currently 36th on the racetrack. It is not going to be another good point day for the 92 of Perez unless we have another big accident. Hey, we are racing around here at 215 miles an hour. We saw what could happen. Bad block going wrong, and then a couple of cars getting taken out. So that is all it takes, a bad block or these guys going 3 and 4 wide. You never know what is going to happen here. Anything can happen at this stage in the game, at this stage in the season. All these guys who come in here winless, still looking for wins. The guys that are winless in their entire careers. You talk about Riley Sampson finally got that monkey off of his back. You talk about guys like Dustin Davis who have been winless throughout their entire careers. Juan Rodriguez, who has been winless throughout his entire Mission Barbecue Cup Series career. Back in here. Acetal definitely not winless, so Charlie Davenport isn't winless. Trying to recall who is not winless. Trey Smith, probably the best example of a driver that has had so much success in this series, especially this season. But everything besides a win. Does not appear that today is going to be the day that 52 machine finally makes a trip to Body on Victory Lane. Trey Smith's teammate Daisy Johnson, for the first half of the first quarter of last season, looked like she was going to be a contender in the chase, but fell off the last 75% of last season and has not been doing too well as of late. It's 3 wide down the back between Tall, Allen, and Fitzy. Fitzwater currently running in the 24th position that last time by. He's not winless in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series. He has 2 career wins, if I'm not mistaken. Comes into Texas Florida winless in 2021. It has been an uncharacteristically pretty poor season statistically for Zachary Fitzwater. As Ryan Benjamin fends off Noah Clift on the outside, that's going to allow Collins to pull away just a bit. Fastest lap of the race belongs to Cameron Garlington, who is currently 5th on the grid. We can't count out the possibility of another accident coming out. Fitzwater currently has 2 wins. He won this race last year, and he won on the Daytona Beach course for the Racing's Return Beach Bar and Grill last year at the Daytona Beach course, like I just said, in the second race of the chase. 14 laps to go in the Out of the Groove 500. Mitchell Collins currently has a quarter-second lead over the 15 of Ryan Benjamin. Clifton is trying to axe into Ryan Benjamin's second position. He is really slow, really had to check up there going through the corner. That's going to allow Tyler Reynolds to get around Clifton. Perez is definitely going to be kicking himself after this. Thompson is going to be kicking the 92 driver up and down the pit lane after this race. has led the most laps this afternoon. By far is going to be in the points lead. How far? He is going to be fairly far, I would gauge. Crow back there in the 16th position. But Mitchell Collins might, who came into this the chase as an underdog to win the championship, came into the season as an underdog to win races, transition over to Buck Racing after jumping ship from the sinking Motorsports, and has found success almost automatically. It took him quite a bit to win. It took him until Chicagoland to finally get that win for the Buck Racing organization. He is up here logging in at laps led, and he is trying to go for win number 2 of the season in that Logitech number 78 Ford Taurus. Trying to get Chase Buck his 3rd win on the Mission Barbecue Cup Series. Tyler Reynolds also trying to get Chase Buck, the boss man, his 3rd win in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series. He currently runs 5th at the moment in a battle for 4th with Clifton. Can't count out Ryan Benjamin. How about Cameron Garlington? His lone win at Coca-Cola. He only led 2 laps in the Coca-Cola 500. Looking to get his 2nd win of the season. Logan Alexander looking for win number 3. Caleb Rose looking for win number 3 as well. Same with the 17 of Logan Williams. Colton Yo looking for win number 2. And then you go all the way back to 11th. For the 40 of Dustin Davis, who is just looking for win number 1 of his career. As here's the battle for the race lead with 10 to go. Garlington gets around Ryan Benjamin. His Stealth Motorsports teammate of Clifton will follow suit. In fact, as Clifton gets checked up just a bit, all 3 Stealth Motorsports drivers up inside the top 6. And a good run coming with 9 to go for the 28 of Cameron Garlington. He's going to move to the inside of the 78 of Collins, going through 1 and 2. Will not be able to complete the pass. Remember, if we get within 3 to go, we will be having a green-white checker finish. I think it's going to be a battle between Buck Racing and Stealth Motorsports, as Tristan Allen is nowhere to be seen for the 15 of Ryan Benjamin. Allen currently runs 25th, so it has been a really bad stretch of races for your regular season champion. 8 to go at the line. Can Cameron Garlington find a way around the 78 of Mitchell Collins? And they're going to catch up to Keegan Thompson in a couple of laps. They're rapidly closing in on Thompson. Garlington right on the back bumper of the 78 of Collins. If these two get together, don't count out Ryan Benjamin, who is waiting in the wings, as Alexander will get around his chase competitor. 20 car gets around the 19 car with 7 to go. They'll be 3 wide for 4th. As they rapidly close in on Keegan Thompson, they will be catching the 14 Viagra machine, probably down into turn number 3. See, this is where the chess match begins. Does Thompson block Collins? Yes, he does. He's going to follow team orders. He's going to try and let Garlington get around the blue oval. It's bow ties against the blue ovals, ladies and gentlemen, with 6 laps to go. No, Thompson's going to block the 28. He's just trying to race with these guys. Dude, you're a lap down. Just get out of the way and let these guys race for the win. There's 6 to go. There's a lot on the line. He is going to let Ryan Benjamin go. No, not quite yet. Benjamin really slow through the corner. We just lose so much momentum on the inside lane. And 5, count them, 5 laps to go. I think it's going to be a dogfight between Collins and Garlington for this race win. No more lap traffic. We can't count out the possibility of a yellow flag coming out. They're right together, nose to tail, tandem drafting down the back straightaway. And here's the first move. Garlington to the inside of Collins, but he is going to lose a lot of momentum going down on the inside lane. If you want to make a pass, especially through 3 and 4, you've got to make it on the outside. And Garlington is finding that out the hard way with 4 laps to go. Still either of these two's race, but I think Collins might have the slight advantage given the track position. And look at this squad there. This is the top 10 all within one another. Reynolds and Rose getting held up by the stricken 14 machine. Right now the battle is on between the Stealth Motorsports machines. That is for third. Clifton not letting his lesson, losing some momentum on the inside. Colton Yo trying to regain any at all positions. He'll be 4 wide going down the front straightaway with 3 to go. Garlington trying to set up another attack on the 78. And if the caution comes out on the next lap, we are going to be at the point of no return. The 14 car is so slow. Oh, he is really slow. He's going to dive down onto the pit lane. Something amiss on the 14 machine. Not sure what it was, but Brennan Wilmington is also going to dive down the pit lane. Popsicle sticks it in the air. If a caution comes out now, that'll be the race. Durrani coming back up the racetrack. Could we see these guys potentially running out of fuel? I don't know, but that would be really, really surprising. And I don't think that I have no idea if that's going to be the case. Johnson down the pit lane. Wilmington down. They don't come down this time by. It's going to be a 3-car battle. It's going to be a Stealth Motorsports guys against one man himself. White flag in the air. One more time around the Texas World Speedway for Mitchell Collins. They're going to get around the lap traffic coming off of the pit lane. Do they have enough to make it to the end? Garlington right on the back bumper of Mitchell Collins, and he's going to move down the inside. Does he have his teammate? No, the 20 of Alexander does not come down to help. And that could be the race. No, it isn't. They're going to be side by side, and Garlington is going to get by Collins with a last lap pass. Unbelievable. Cameron Garlington does it again, pulls another rabbit out of his hat. I don't know how he just did that, but Cameron Garlington with a last lap pass, and Stealth Motorsports is going to go 1-2 here today at Texas World. And Aiden McCrow went around. I believe he went around. It was a tire. Not sure what happened, but McCrow is already retired from the race. And oh my goodness. It helps having teammates in friendly places, and Cameron Garlington, who started 10th on the grid, is going to go to body armor victory lane here tonight at Texas World. Mitchell Collins, oh, so freaking close. And I don't know what happened. It had to have been the draft, but Cameron Garlington going to body armor victory lane for the second time, once again, on a last lap pass. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he may have passed Mitchell Collins at Coca-Cola for that win. Actually, no, it may have been Landon Smith Jr. I've drawn a blank on who it is, who he passed, but oh my goodness. What a race. What an absolute race. As you take a look on the right here on your screen, your official standings, Cameron Garlington leads only 1 lap as far as I'm concerned. And Logan Alexander, the highest finishing chase driver. Cameron Garlington did get the fastest lap, so that's a 2:15 on the board for Cameron Garlington. Logan Alexander, no idea where he came from. Mitchell Collins, oh so close, but could not get it done. And then Noah Clifton finally gets another top 5 finish. Stealth Motorsports, who is right on the bottom when it comes to points, just went 1-2-4. And Ryan Benjamin rounds out your top 5. Logan Williams 6th, Colton Yo 7th, Tyler Reynolds 8th. That's another great points day for the 19 machine. Dustin Davis 9th, continues his top 10 streak. And rounding your top 10 is Derek Hamill in the number 91. I am very surprised by that. Take a look at the rest of your field. I guess these guys potentially ran out of fuel or something, because Wellington, Johnson, Durrani all down the pit lane with 2 to go. Aiden McCrow, something happened to the 42 machine. You'll see that on the bottom right-hand side of your screen during the race. I believe it just went around. And then Will Parrish, Owen Miles, Ethan Lewis all getting knocked out from the race. But look at that. Braden Perez, 32nd, will only score 40 points going into next week's race at Ricky. And my goodness. Nobody messes with Texas, and he didn't mess with any Texas drivers, but Texas messed with him right there and right then. And Cameron Garlington, if I'm not mistaken, Cameron Garlington is from Texas. I didn't know where he was, but Cameron Garlington gets a home win here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Logan Alexander second, and then it is a huge points day for Stealth Motorsports here. And Cameron Garlington exits this race out on top, but this chase battle has just gotten groovy. Out of the groove memes right there. But what a race here at the Texas World Speedway. And oh boy, just wait until next week's race. It is going to be another 500 lap 50 miler on the high banks of the Ricky Raceway as we go to the Great White North for the only time this season. And that is going to be a banger of a race next week on October 8th, October 16th, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it is going to be October 16th. Yes, October 16th will be the Lobot Blue 500 at the Ricky Raceway as we travel to the Great White North of Quebec for that 50-lap race, that 500-mile race. That is just going to be absolutely insane. And then we go to the Nazareth Speedway, the night version of the Nazareth Speedway, and then we wrap up the season at the New Jersey Motor Speedway, and we will crown a champion. And ladies and gentlemen, we still have no idea who is going to be the champion. Given Braden Perez keeps failing, Mitchell Collins might be the new favorite to win the championship. We're just going to have to wait and see. Given Nelson Reeves finished 19th, so 105 points. You just don't know, but actually, yeah, Mitchell Collins extends his points lead over quite a bit of everybody. But oh boy, what a race we just had us here at. What a race we're going to have next week at 7 p.m. This was, in fact, the last day race of the season, because the next 3 races will be done under the lights at Ricky, Nazareth, and the New Jersey Motor Speedway. Oh boy. Got 3 sum of races to go, and they are going to be at 3 completely different tracks. A super speedway, a short track, and an intermediate track. A high bank super speedway, a flat short track, and a somewhat decent banking intermediate track at New Jersey. That will wrap up 2021 for the Mission Barbecue Cup Series. That's going to wrap up today's broadcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the 2021 edition of the Out of the Groove 500. Congratulations to the Texas native himself, Cameron Garlington, once again on his win here at the Texas World Speedway. That is going to do it for me. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Here are your points after 34 races in 2021, and we will see you next week only at the Ricky Raceway for the Lobot Blue 500 for Chase race number 8, race number 35 of 37, and 3 races left in the season, only on NASCAR Nerd 34.